Good day, everybody. This is John Scarborough. Y'all can see we got some new arrivals on the farm here. These are Katahdin sheep. We purchased these about a week and a half ago. We moved them into this pasture here about 2 days ago. Got them separated from the goats. Anyway, I kind of wanted to discuss these sheep just a little bit today. Kind of our, this is kind of a new experience for us. We've raised goats and everything, but I really haven't had any experience with raising a flock of sheep. I've had that one sheep back there, but I haven't had any real experience with that. So that's something I kind of wanted to go over, just kind of our experiences and just kind of show y'all these new arrivals here. Guys, I really would appreciate it if I could get a like in the video. It doesn't really cost, it doesn't cost you anything. You can click like while you're watching the video. And I really would appreciate it if I could get y'all to subscribe to the channel. I've noticed I've got a lot more people watching the videos than I do subscribing. And I'll tell you guys, it really doesn't cost anything at all to subscribe. For some reason, I used to be scared of it myself. I don't know why. It just seems like you're committing to something. And you're not. It's not a problem. You can click subscribe. It does not hurt you. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you really don't like my channel, give it a month. Give it a couple of months. If you don't like it, all you got to do is unsubscribe, okay? So just do that. Give me a month. Try out the channel. We talk a lot about different things on the farm and different ways that we personally make a living at home. And we do all of it, most of it, without sitting in an office all day. So if that's something that appeals to you, then just give it a chance. Anyway, back to the topic, guys. These sheep, and you can tell, this one right here has already lost her hair, okay? When we first got them, they were barely losing any hair at all. They really had a lot of hair on them and everything. So I don't know if it was where they were or what. But as soon as I got them out here on this forage, out here in this pasture, they have really started cleaning up. Now, I will say that a big part of that is just, we're right at that time of year where technically they should be cleaned all off. The really, really healthy ones would be cleaned all off, but we're still having some cool nights. So that's not necessarily something to worry too much about. And I'm telling you all of this based on some of my experience with cattle, but then also based on some of the stuff that I'm talking to a lot of other people. So this is a topic that I'm learning. It's a brand new topic for me. I've raised goats for 5+ years when I was younger, raised and sold them. And then I've raised cattle and things like that. But like I said, my experience with sheep are very minimal. And I've been around, like my brother has sheep, he's just right down the road, and I've been around, helped him and stuff. But the differences, you don't really get the differences in an animal until after you've actually raised the animal for yourself and you've dealt with the animal for yourself and, just dealt with the little problems. I'm going to try to get close to them, but they're just very flighty. And I'm thinking that's just something with sheep, that sheep are just more flighty. But I think part of it is, it's a brand new experience for them. They're still a bit nervous. The one with the yellow tag is the one we already had. So she's used to me, but of course she's just going to go with those other sheep. It's actually kind of funny. We first got them and they were all, this sheep right here, when she was out there with the goats, and it was just her and the two goats, man, she was bonded onto those guys. She was really bonded onto the male. She didn't really like the female at all. You see how flighty they are? They're just so much different from cattle or even goats like I'm used to. They're a little bit different from goats, but a lot different from cattle. But anyway, so it's just kind of a learning experience for me. It's something I'm enjoying learning about. I don't know for sure if sheep is going to be a part of our farm or not, but I do really hope that it will be a good part. This is I think it's about 10 acres. It's split between two pastures that we've got here. And it's all net wire. It's 6 foot of 2x4 net wire. So we're just trying to kind of start here because it's just net wire. There's less to concern ourselves with. Once these kind of start getting more used to me, and I feel like they're not just scared of me personally and they've gotten used to the farm and adapted to that, then I'm going to start introducing electric. They've never been exposed to electric as far as I know, so I don't want to introduce that while trying to introduce the new farm, while being introduced to me. They seem like they're not real accustomed to being close to people as it is. So I want to just kind of approach all of that slowly. I'm not in a rush, and I would advise anybody else with new animals, don't get in a rush. Don't think to yourself that you've got to get them broke to hot wire and do all of that all in the first week. This place can be separated by 2 different places, so I will just slowly bond them on and adapt them to that. My plan with sheep, my long-term plan, is to be able to rotate them heavy, but probably not nearly as heavy as cattle. I would like to get them broke down to 1 wire, 1 hot wire. I've seen other people do that, and they've been quite successful. Whether or not I can, I don't know. I don't know for sure. My goal is to have 1 wire and be able to move them about once a week. I'm not really planning to do any better than that. I could, but to try to do that along with everything else, I believe that it's more important to move the cattle once a day than it is to try to move the sheep as often. I feel like that's more important. So if I've got to pick between the two, my first goal is going to be getting the cattle to where they will actually, where I can actually move them every day. Eventually, I may get these sheep moving more often than that, but I feel like if I can get them moving once a week, I think that's going to be a pretty good goal for me. But anyway, they have gotten quite a bit healthier, I've noticed. Like this one, I don't know if you can quite tell, that one right there, she's just about slicked all the way off, and she was as bad as that other one is now. Before she slicked all the way off, but then this one that's probably solid, pretty close to solid black, but she's got a lot of brown fur that's coming off right now. That's dead fur, or hair, whatever you want to call it, on them. That one has actually just lambed. I don't know if you can see that lamb, and I think that's a little late. But the rest of these lambs are actually the lambs from some of the mamas that you see here. They have their own lambs here, so the lambing was a bit different for all of them. But I wasn't going to buy any of the older ones. Those are older ewes. So if anybody else knows anything about ewes, or the older ewes, or the age that you would buy the ewes, or what kind of shape you think they should be in, and you're seeing something that I'm not, you've got some experience in that, I would really appreciate your comment. Your help with that. Like I said, I'm new to it, so I'm still learning a lot. So please feel free, put some comments in there, let me know. I would appreciate it if you don't know for sure. Maybe just put that in there that it's something you think, but you don't actually know for sure. But anyway, so I ended up with I bought recently 3 ewe lambs. No, 3 ewes, older ewes, and then 4 ewe lambs. And then I already had the other ewe. I had already made the trade for that one. So now I've got 4 ewe lambs and 4 older ewes. And they've all now had 1 lamb. That one right there just had her first one. Okay. All except for the one with the yellow tag, the one that I had before. She has not lambed at all yet. But anyway, she was probably just a little bit too young and all like that. So now I've also got 2 ram lambs that were just a couple of months old. So I will be putting, I'll be banding them, I think, and then probably about 10 months to a year old, I'm going to actually send them off to the butcher. And that'll probably be our first lamb that we're selling, you know, to go along with our beef, because we've been selling beef. We don't have any other meat products as of yet. But we hope that we'll have lamb, pork, and chicken here pretty soon. We actually made a deal with another farmer to where we're going to start selling their eggs. It's not our eggs. We're not raising them. Oh, look at that. That one right there is actually that is a ram lamb. I just saw that. I didn't want to get too close to those lambs. One thing I learned with the goats is that you know, you don't want to stress them out right in the beginning. So like with cows, I'll wait till about the second day to tag that calf. But with lambs, I'm still learning, but I was kind of thinking it's probably something I don't, you know, if it's anything like goats, then I don't want to just jump in there and stress them out. So it's probably been 2 days now. So I'll probably give them a couple more days, maybe a week, and then I'm going to get them all up, and I'll probably end up tagging all of them, checking them all out, banding the 2 that needs to be banned. I don't know anything about whether or not I should ban this one at this age. If anybody else knows that, let me know. But I just love the fact that they're over here eating all of this forage. There's so much grass in here, and you can tell they're eating it. They definitely are. But it's not the only thing they're growing after. So I just think it's awesome that they're doing that. And I want to kind of move around over here. So this pasture was actually had goats in it for many, many years. That's why it's fenced off the way it is. And if you look in this other pasture right over there, I don't know if you can tell or not. I'm going to try to view in over there. There's quite a few more weeds over there. I'm probably going to have to brush hog it this year. And I'm actually run both places. But this place is just naturally this clean, a lot cleaner. And I think that's just from years of running goats on it. It's just gotten rid of a lot of the weeds. And that's just because, I mean, as soon as they start coming on in the early season, man, they're just going after them. They're nailing them. So I'm excited about this, guys. My goal is to eventually be able to run sheep on all of my cattle pastures as well. But we're going to take it slow. We're going to just try to learn it. We've started a lot of new different things. And kind of like with the pigs, I'm taking it slow with the pigs because there's so many other things that are very important. So I'm not doing everything with the pigs that I want to, but I'm kind of just slowly adapting and slowly getting used to it. And you can tell these sheep are starting to get more and more comfortable with me. And that's one reason why I wanted to do this. Just me being here talking is helping them to be more comfortable, you know, like that. They can tell that I'm just here. You know, eventually they'll get more like the cattle where, you know, I'm just kind of another part of the herd or the flock. You know, with the sheep, it's a flock. But that's something you kind of want to do. You know, go spend time with your animals. I'm not big on just going out and trying to get these animals to where they're used to me petting them. I'm not out there making a petting zoo. There are some of my cows that will actually come up and they like it when I pet on them. And those I will, you know, you just kind of can't help yourself. An animal wants to be pet. But I don't intentionally try to get them that tame. Because my experience with running a productive farm is when they're that tame, it's just, well, some people can't handle sending them off to the butcher after that. And if that's how it is for you, then I would definitely suggest not doing that. But just having them that tame makes it much more difficult to deal with and to handle. I find that you want them to be gentle and not scared, and then when you get them up into a place, they're perfectly fine with you handling them, but at the same time, keep, you know, to where they're not so tame that they're rubbing all over you all the time. That's about the perfect system that I have found, is where they're kind of a nice mix, where it's not difficult, they're not scared of you, and they're never stressed out. But they're not necessarily, you know, you want them to think of you as another presence. You don't want them to see you as a lamb. You want them to just kind of see you as the, kind of like just as the leader of the flock, where they know there's a slight separation, but at the same time they feel safe with you. And that's what I have found personally, at least with cattle and pigs and things like that. Actually, I say that pigs, I actually do find pigs to be better, a little bit different. I find pigs to be better if they are almost more on the tame side. I'm finding that I really prefer them. I mean, I'll actually pet them, and you know, and so I'm actually finding it to be different with them. But they're not a herd animal, and that's the biggest reason I don't like to pet my herd or flock animals, I guess, is because it makes them to where they don't work as a unit. They work much better as a unit. And if they're coming to you and one or two of them is rubbing on you or something, then they're no longer working as a unit, and it can actually not be good for them. If you try to make a road crossing, you come across a road or something, and they're not worrying about going with those others as a unit. Instead, they're worried about going after you. See, like right now, they're following each other. That's what you want. You actually want them, like those right there. Look at that. They just turn and go right there. You know, you want herd or flock animals to stay like that. So that's just my personal experience. I like it better like that, but that's just me. Some people do really like it if all other animals, if they can just rub all over them and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that approach. I'm just letting you know, just as a, you know, you want to bring it to more of a productive method, and you start to get more and more animals. It seems to me that it works better if the animals are just you know, I want them to be less, I want them to be better than they are now. I want to be able to walk right up through them. Basically, what my goal is I want to be able to walk right up to them, no problems. But maybe as soon as I stick my hand out to pet one, then they're just a little bit cautious of that, you know. And the only real reason is just because I never do touch them, you know. And I find that perfect, because I can stay right there with them, I can work with them, they never get stressed out, but yet at the same time, they're just much, they stay docile, but yet if you need them to move, then you can make them move, and do what you need them to do without a whole lot of stress on that, you know. So anyway, guys, really enjoying these sheep. Probably going to wrap this video up. I just wanted to kind of show you all a nice peaceful day out here, with these lambs and these sheep. A new avenue for me. It's definitely learning some new stuff here. Most of the stuff that that y'all have seen me do on the farm is stuff that I've already done in the past, stuff I've kind of already know a little bit about, and but this is going to be brand new for me. It was definitely different. When I went and made a move from the one pasture they were in into this one, I did that all by myself, and then I had to separate the two goats off from them, and that was just, it was fun. I definitely had to be patient, especially by myself. They're just any little thing and boom, they're gone. And it's like I can see why they call them a flock. You know, they're so flighty. You know, they will just boom, you know, and they'll just take off. And as soon as one of them takes off, then all the other ones take off with them. So anyway, guys, excited. I'm really excited also about seeing y'all's comments in there. I really like it when this is more like a community. We can really talk and share each other's thoughts and put some stuff out there. And anyway, guys, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.